Hey y'all, welcome to 2Aprons. I'm Jared David.
And I'm Kitty.
I know you guys have only seen our one awesome episode, so I don't want to throw too much at you at once. So we're just going to jump in and get right to it. Tonight we are cooking a very, very, very delicious seared chicken and goat cheese sauce.
With mashed potatoes and carrot pepper agrodolce. And a wonderful fact that I learned tonight is that agrodolce in typical Italian cuisine means sweet and sour sauce. So the sweet and sour of tonight's sauce is a honey and red wine vinegar sauce that we're going to put on the carrots and peppers that are going to be our side. So I'm really excited about this.
That's awesome.
And I learned new information.
We got our new box this week, so we're ready to get to it. We have the red wine vinegar.
Beauteous.
We have the spice blend, which has a lot of good deliciousness in there.
So our spice blend tonight is going to be onion powder, garlic powder, smoked paprika, and dried whole parsley.
Ooh,
and that is going to be our little spice blend.
I can't even remember all that. Got potatoes. I know that one.
Beautiful golden potatoes. Those are my faves. Love them. Yukon Gold.
Peppers. Keep it spicy.
Peppers. And these are actually like sweet peppers. So sweet and spicy. It's a good blend.
Honey.
Honey. It's going to go in our agrodolce. Mm-hmm.
Carrots. Oh, damn. Carrots. Got sun golden raisins. Because regular raisins just aren't good enough.
I actually love golden raisins. They're my favorite. I don't know if it's because I had them less as a kid or what, but I really do like them. Oh, some fabulous goat cheese here for our goat cheese sauce.
Let's see what the first bit of thing is. Obviously, do prep, so we're going to wash our veggies. Do that real fast.
Also, one of the first instructions is to remove the honey from the refrigerator to bring to room temperature. Most of the time, if you have honey involved in a recipe, that's going to be one of the first things you want to do. And you can also kind of knead it to just help it get to temperature a little bit faster and break it up a little bit if it has become, hardened from refrigeration.
And it helps just to pull everything out and have it in front of you anyway.
It's also a great stress reliever if you've had like a bad day. Just need that honey packet. It's kind of like a mini stress ball.
That's a country stress ball.
That's just a productive stress ball. You're actually accomplishing something while letting out your stress. So, getting our cutting board here so that we can cut up our vegetables without marring our countertop.
Yummy.
Have all of these been washed?
Nope, I'm in the process of that right now.
Okay.
The carrots have been washed. They are ready. Let me get an appropriate cutting device because we're high tech here.
Oh, also just a quick note about this meal and the preparation of it. The American Diabetes Association has said that in order to make this a diabetes-friendly recipe, what you want to do is actually not add any salt during the preparation of this meal. So that's going to bring it into like the good sodium zone and diabetes friendly zone. When it says add salt and pepper if desired, if you want this to be ADA compliant, American Diabetes Association compliant, you don't add salt. So there is that disclaimer for you.
Potatoes are ready.
Woohoo!
What do we do with the carrots?
So it's going to tell us to peel the carrots. If you watched our previous episode, you know we don't ever do that. A lot of nutrients in vegetables are stored in the skin, so when possible, leave that on. We do wash it. That's great. We're just going to discard the ends, and then we're going to slice them lengthwise and then cut them into 2-inch pieces, so kind of thick pieces here.
You cut it lengthwise?
Yep, have it lengthwise, which, if you went to school, is down the middle in a horizontal fashion.
They didn't teach me that at school. She said that.
Sorry,
that was
vertical fashion.
They don't teach that at school.
And then
they didn't have
slice.
home ec. Did they have home ec at your high school?
No.
Yeah, they didn't have that in mine either. That would have been a class I would have actually enjoyed.
They may have had it.
Yeah, we didn't have
it. It was not any 2 inches.
2 inches?
Yeah,
so
kind of thick.
Like this? Oh, like this?
Like maybe not that thick, maybe a little less.
I see what you're saying.
But yeah, like significant pieces.
Boom. It looks weird, don't it?
Yeah, they're pretty large pieces. These are like, if you cook carrots frequently, the longer it takes, obviously, the thicker the piece. So these are pretty big pieces to be cooking. I don't know how tender these are actually going to get, but it's really nice when you have vegetables that have some crunch to them. So.
I think because they're half, they'll get pretty tender. They're kind of going in with the peppers. So that'll be an interesting
looks
thing.
like witch's fingers.
It does. And now they look normal.
Wow.
And then what do you do with witch's fingers?
That was a little brutal.
You eat them. Well, you don't want people like half-assing that. Like, you know, you want to just get it over with. I don't know if y'all saw 4 Rooms, but, you know, bet on your lighter, not his. All right, so the potatoes said medium dice, is that correct?
I will double check. Yes, medium dice the potatoes. Again, these that we have are Yukon Gold. A medium dice is just going to be not huge chunks like the carrots, but also not tiny. So
Think, you know,
pretty
cubes.
medium.
Think little cubes. They won't be perfect cubes. They'll be awkward cubes, but, you know, it's a thing. Don't worry about trying to get it perfect unless, like, someone's paying you to cook for them. At that point, maybe care a little bit.
Here's the deal. These are going to become mashed potatoes, so as long as they're small enough that they cook, you're good. Because you're squashing them all together at the end anyway. Nobody's going to know how, you know...
That's true.
Cohesive the pieces that you cut them into were. It's just going to be...
Cut them down so they boil and soften faster. That's the idea of cutting them to boil. Because if you just boil it whole, it'll take forever.
And we're going to boil them for 18 to 20 minutes. So they have a really good chance, unless you're just like putting the potatoes in whole, and maybe even then, they're going to be ready to mash.
We can get that water ready to boil.
Good call. And I'm going to start to work on the peppers while he is doing that. So we're going to cut off the ends.
Yummy peppers.
And then we're going to cut them down the middle. And what we're going to do is just clean out this part here, this white part, and any seeds. These are called the ribs. We're going to clean out the ribs and the seeds just because they make it less pleasant to eat. So we're just going to do that in order to have a better dining experience. I need to actually get over the trash can for this. Thank you.
I can help you.
Oh, thank you. So you just pull out the ribs. Usually they're pretty easy, and then just make sure all of the seeds come out for each one that you do.
And what I'm starting to do is whisking together the cheese with a little bit of the hot water.
Switch with me.
Put that right there. I have to see how much hot water. Because...
That is 3/4 of a pot.
That's for the potatoes.
Oh,
this is something else. 1 tablespoon. Well, that's not a lot at all.
It does say you can add up to like 1 tablespoon more.
Just for the cheese.
Yeah, you can add up to 1 tablespoon more if you need to loosen the sauce. So if loosen means to make runnier, if you need the sauce to become more sauce-like, just slowly add water and mix it in and see what consistency it comes to, and then continue to add until you get the consistency that you want.
Ah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So the way I do this, get whatever water you like or whatever. Nice. A tablespoon's a tablespoon. If you're a little over, you're a little over. No one cares.
It's better to be a little bit under because you can always add more. It's harder to take stuff away.
That's true. With this, because I kind of have a little bit of experience with it,
Exactly.
I think you wanted a little bit more than what they advise. But she is right. If you're in unknown territory, you do want to play a little bit safe. We've been doing these now for, I think, about 2 years. Huh,
Yeah, for at least 2 years.
Getting food dropped on the steps seemed weird at first. I love it now. We look forward to it. If it be 2 days late, we upset.
And neither Gerald, David, nor I cooked when we started doing this. So.
Oh yeah, I used to be able to cook spaghetti until I realized it was not good. I went to Italy, had good spaghetti, and I was like, oh damn, I have been messing this up. I'm messing it up. I know how to do it right now.
So when we started doing this, when we got together and started dating, neither of us cooked, and we quickly realized that that was not going to be a workable situation. And these box meals like really saved us and really helped us get better on our teamwork.
Yeah, I was like, who's gonna feed me? And she was like, I know, right?
That was pretty much exactly the
No,
conversation.
and we just kept looking at the door, and you know, you can eat pizza and Chinese food, and we made that work for a while.
We did.
And that's one of these things. These box meals have kind of made us little foodies. We cannot just go anywhere now and just eat some, you know, some random whatever. It's got to be pretty pretty top notch. We've gotten kind of spoiled with the good ingredients. What we got going on now that I've did that? The water's on its way to boiling, but not quite there. We have, I did the cheese, 1 tablespoon hot water sauce, seasoned with salt and pepper. Ooh, yes. We are not going to be ADA compliant today. We are going to be adding the deliciousness that is salt and pepper. Fresh ground salt, because it sounds cool.
And y'all, we do try to be responsible about salt, but neither of us have diabetes, so that's not a health concern for us right now. So while we try to be responsible, we don't necessarily adhere to ADA guidelines. If you need to, by all means, please do. We would like for you to stay around and like and subscribe.
Electrolytes. It's what plants crave.
Okay.
You know what that's from.
That was from forever ago.
Electrolytes.
Awesome. So for the peppers, I've got the ribs pulled out and the seeds out. And now I'm just quartering them lengthwise as per the instructions. So cutting them into 4 pieces lengthwise. And that's what's going to go in our pepper carrot agrodolce. And we are a super big clean as you go household. Like, we do not leave dishes till the end. We might have 1 or 2, but we do them before we eat so that we can like eat, relax, and then super relax. And I love that about our cooking style.
So what is next? I think we're ready to do the chicken, aren't we?
I believe we are.
While we wait for that water to boil.
As soon as the water boils, we'll add the diced potatoes. But in the meantime, we can get started on the chicken. Now for proteins, we're super big on not cross-contaminating. Yep. And so Gerald David will handle the actual protein, and I will handle everything else as far as seasoning it, getting soap on things that need to be washed, and helping him get his hands washed so he doesn't have to touch anything in the kitchen while he has potential contaminants.
The proteins, they have you go through very similar steps almost every time, so it's very easy to kind of get used to this. Usually the first thing is pull it out, tap it dry, wrap it in a napkin or paper towels or something, because usually it has a little bit of liquid on it.
Which kind of chicken am I looking at?
The big pieces, that's it.
Okay.
Actually,
they're both big pieces.
Then it doesn't matter. At which point it's going to have you add the seasoning, a little bit of salt and pepper. During that time, you're going to put a little oil on the pan, and it's going to be heating up while you're prepping this. One of the things I really do give a little bit of credit to these home delivery things and kind of teaching me how to cook and making it like super easy is we were really good about dodging a lot of like contamination cross points because we understood how it worked in the kitchen first. We understood don't touch this then touch that and think that you did something. No, you have to be kind of on top of it. It really helps to have 2 people there.
You can do it with 1 person.
Oh yeah, you totally can.
But
you just end up washing your hands a lot more.
And those are chicken breasts?
Yeah.
You do. It's easier with 2 people, that's all. Chicken but it breast. Is absolutely doable.
No, these are chicken breast pieces.
Okay, so that's not the one we want.
Alright. Well, I couldn't read it through the thing.
No, it's fine. I have the same problem. But I managed to read this one.
Yep. Pull the other one out and then I'll... There we go. Try to get boom, good. Oh, that
and
one's
these
definitely...
are double bagged, so that is not a contaminant in the outer bag.
On this one, however, not true. This one has a little bit of a thing, but no worries. We deal with this often.
That's why they're double bagged.
Kitty, come over here. Yes. Grab a knife and just pierce this.
Okay.
Right here, just go that way. So again, where 2 people really help.
Do you want me to hold the trash can for you?
Here in a second.
Okay.
Not right now.
So all he's doing now is slitting the bag, the inner bag of the chicken. We're going to go ahead and drain out any of the liquid that might still be in there and get that chicken where we can pat it dry and get some seasoning on it.
Yummy seasoning.
Yummy.
That seasoning's so good. That's the other thing these little box meals did was expose me a bunch of seasonings that I would not have picked for myself. Yes, will you open that for me?
Absolutely.
Alright, it's dripping. That was definitely icky. Alright, let me do a little pre-rinse.
Yep.
Put that over that side.
So with the pre-rinse, and we have a side of the sink that is only used for proteins. Dishes do not rest there. We just try to keep that really clean, and so anything that has to do with proteins goes on the right side of the sink.
And we do that more for muscle memory, just so that way, because it's not really pertinent all the time, but it helps us to remember because you just get used to not using that side except for certain things. So I just use the paper towels, pat it dry, nothing complicated. Kitty, if you'll get the seasoning right here.
Absolutely.
Salt and
So we've
pepper.
got our season blend. Again, this is onion powder, garlic powder, smoked paprika, and dried
Let's put a
parsley.
pause on that real quick.
Yeah.
Let's put a little dash of oil, a drizzle of oil, as they say, in the pan and turn that on and let that start getting heated.
It's
I'm
always
not-
a drizzle.
I'm not doing it because I've yet to really wash my hands, so I'm not touching anything. That's why they're up like a pretend surgeon.
He's only rinsed them thus
So that's
far.
good. So now that's the key what we wanted. Yes,
So now we're gonna salt and pepper, and we do
Yummy.
like salt, so just a little bit here. I do love pepper, so I do quite a bit more on that front. Just because pepper is really like a great seasoning for chicken.
It is.
It really gives it a lot of flavor.
And as you can tell, the water is now boiling. So once she's done with that pepper, we're actually going to take a pause on the chicken. Pause on that real quick. And just go ahead and throw the potatoes in there.
Okay.
Because then we can go ahead and start that going.
Absolutely.
You don't want your water to just evaporate all away. It's not like a big time crunch, but we
happened.
did do it the other day. And
Hashtag we've done that before.
yeah, it kind of made the bottom of the pot all weird looking and stuff. It was kind of weird. I didn't know boiling away water did anything.
It's a
It does
little
do
bit
something.
oxidized on the
Mhm.
bottom of the pot now, but that'll be fine.
Boom. And then set the timer for what I believe is 18 minutes.
We usually do in the middle, so we'll do 19 because it's
Mhm.
18 to 20. So that is on 19 minutes and
Awesome.
going.
And now we're back to this.
We're going to finish up our seasoning with that spice blend that I was talking about.
Yummy.
And you can have more, some left over with these. Basically, you just do it to taste.
Mm-hmm.
And so we just kind of get it in there. David will rub that in, or Gerald David will rub that in some.
Which is why I haven't washed my hands yet. Waiting
Exactly.
for this moment.
And then when we put that in the pan, the seasoning side will go down. The side that's not seasoned will go up. We'll go ahead and season that while it's in the pan. And then that'll be good to go.
You want to play with that pan and see if it's about ready?
Yeah. So the way that we do this typically is you kind of check the viscosity
Well, that's pretty
of
close.
the olive oil. If it goes around the pan really easily and coats everything, that means your pan is probably up to temperature. This
Depends
is
if it's
still
fast or slow.
Yeah, this is still a little bit thick. So we could give that another minute if we wanted to, but we could probably go ahead and put it in and be fine. And you hear that nothing is sizzling right now. As that goes in, that means that pan's not quite up to temperature. It's still fine. It's still hot. We'll just leave it in a minute longer or so. But if we had waited until the chicken sizzled when it hit, that would be when your pan is up to temperature. So now we come back, and what I do is put soap on the plate, on the knife, and on David's hands, and then turn the water on so he can go ahead and wash those.
Yeah, you want to stay clean. You know, you got to keep kind of like keep it going all the time. Make sure.
And I'm just seasoning the other side of the chicken now.
Yummy.
Again, it's just salt and pepper. If you're being ADA compliant, no salt, but for us, salt, pepper, and then the seasoning blend.
Oh, that smells good. What do we need to set the timer for the chicken? I think 6 minutes.
The timer is 6 to 7 minutes per side, so we usually do 7. And especially when they've sent this spice blend, we tend to use it all because this is one of our favorite spice blends. It's just really good. And so we just shake that all out on there. And we'll watch this.
Setting this for 7 minutes. Probably 6 now, really, because it took me a minute to get that started. There we go. And really, we kind of play the waiting game. Because we got the potatoes cooking for a minute, we got this going. And the other thing, sometimes I like to put the chicken in a little early because it's better if you kind of don't know, if you don't have a thermometer, if you're not able to actually pierce it and get the real temperature, it's better to go low and slow. A lot of people will burn the outside and think it's done because it looks delicious and then cut into it and be like, what have I done? It's better to kind of go low and slow, have a little bit lower temperature, go a little bit longer. When in doubt, you can top it. That will trap some moisture and also help cook that inside a little more. I'm not going to do that quite yet, but it is an option. I call Cook's Cocktails.
Cocktails!
We do this sometimes when we got a lot of time to kill. You know, we got like maybe 10 minutes or so before we're going to have to do anything like real or whatever. Well, no, I don't want that glass. I want to be able to make one. We're going to show them how to do basic. Yeah, she just kind of, you know, spoiled a little secret. Our green room surprise right there. It's not really a secret. We're going to teach you how to do Jack and Coke. I don't know where you live. You might live somewhere that is not here because everyone here knows how to do this. Boom, boom. It's real, kind of like it sounds. You know, very streamlined. It's a very efficient drink. Please. It's a very efficient drink. It's one of those things that it's kind of almost a tradition in Tennessee because Jack Daniels was distilled here. Is distilled here. Lynchburg, Tennessee. It's a little bit of a tradition.
Fun fact, there is a bike ride called the Jack and Back every summer where you bike down to the Jack Daniels distillery, hang out, get some free drinks, and then bike back. Check it out if you're an avid biker. I've never actually done it, but I know people who have and they love it.
We've been quarantining a while, so these aren't going to be full strength. These are going to be responsible people drinks. Set that right
Normally,
there.
you would put about 1.5 to 2 shots of Jack per glass. 2 if it's a double. 1.5.
You just count out. I don't know if anyone ever taught you that, but you literally just pour and go 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, and that's about a shot.
That's about a shot. It's probably
So count to
a little
4,
bit.
count to 5. But I don't know. Depends. Well, I don't know what your tolerance are. Then we got, you know, good old Coke. Yummy, yummy. Thus the Jack and the Coke. I know, big mystery solved, right? You're like, what's in it? I don't know. Who's Jack? You know, but you're not from around here, so what's common sense to us is, new knowledge to you.
Here is a little cocktail tidbit. These are neat because they do not contain ice. So if you ever order a scotch neat, it's just going to be scotch in your glass. No water, no ice, no nothing, just scotch. If you say on the rocks, obviously, that's with ice. Most of us know that for margaritas, but neat is a little bit lesser known potentially. Also, since we have an Italian meal tonight, maybe David could tell us a story from the time he went to Italy. Gerald David, I'll refer to him as both. Please just bear with me. He has 2 names. It's a thing.
I don't know. It's hard to tell a story when you're just prompted. I'm going to steal a carrot, though, because they're yummy.
A witch finger?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you have kids, witch fingers, they love it. Just go with it. Kids are weird.
Kids like it when you name things weird things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it's a food show, so I imagine I could tell one of my favorite meals.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can talk with my mouth closed, though, so I gotta chew this.
You're good.
Turn this down a little bit.
Also, a trick that Gerald David taught me, if you don't want your water to boil over, just put a little bit of olive oil in there, and that helps prevent it from coming over the edge.
A little splash. And I also turned it down a little bit, because once it's boiling, you don't really need it using all the whatever it's hot at high temperature or whatever. It's not high temperature at all the way up. You can turn it down a little bit, and it won't splash and hiss and burn you when you ain't looking. One of the best meals I guess I had in Italy was in Rome. I think it was called the Da Vinci Cafe. No, that is what it was called. It was called Cafe Da Vinci, and it was right under the Spanish Steps. It's really kind of a beautiful place. It was fall. There's a lot of students that hang out in that area. It's very kind of a youthful vibe, and I don't speak the English. I don't speak the language. I do speak English. I don't speak the language, so I had no idea what was going on. You know what I mean? Everyone's just kind of doing things, having fun. And I went down to this little spot, because it just looked, everything in Rome is a little bit deceiving, because everything looks simple. Everything just looks like a little thing in a door, then you go in and you realize that it's not really what it appeared to be as far as how grandiose it could be, or how, clearly this business has been around for hundreds of years. These people really know what they're doing. And I had one of the best plates of pasta I've ever had. It was a pasta margherita with angel hair pasta, and it was amazing. It was just absolutely amazing. If you're ever in the area, definitely go. Obviously, it's probably shut down now.
Can you tell us what a pasta margherita entails? What does that mean? Parsley and tomato sauce, is there meat?
No, and this one did not have meat.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know what's in it. I don't. And so, tell me about one of the meals you had on one of your trips.
Oh, okay. Putting me back on the spot, huh? Let's see. One of the favorite meals I ever had was actually on a cruise that my brother and his wife and I took. And there was a pasta night. They had penne pasta.
So it was also pasta?
Yes, it was Italian. This is my favorite Italian meal. I'll caveat that. This is my favorite Italian meal that I've had. There was a basil pesto that was being made as you brought your plate up. If that was the sauce you requested, it was being made right in front of you. And it was just olive oil. Oh, that is the timer for the chicken. So we're going to restart that because we're just flipping it back over there.
Oh, that looks good.
And actually, I'm going to add a minute to that because we had it set for 5, and
no, you're right.
we want to do at least 6.
Add a minute, so do it like 6-7 minutes.
So it's on 6 minutes right now. We may add another minute.
I added some oil because sometimes that stuff just evaporates and you don't want it sticking. Wash your back,
if you see that your
this is
pan is
like.
dry,
Yummy, yummy.
make sure you add oil because chicken, any of your proteins are going to stick there. So make sure that your pan is never completely dry. If it is, just add a little bit more oil, just a drizzle.
And we tell you, because we assume that you're kind of like us. When we started doing this, we didn't know any of those little things. We have learned that pretty much if it smells delicious, it's pretty much ready. Especially when it comes to baking.
But always
like
make
cupcakes
sure
and cakes and
you
stuff.
cook your proteins long enough. Those can be a little deceiving.
Well, yeah, I guess with proteins, that's probably not true. I guess that is just baking items. I guess with your proteins, yeah.
With baking, if you can
patient.
smell it, it's done. Like if you're getting a hit of like cupcakes, go pull them out, they're done.
Or even roasting vegetables. But no, I guess, you're right though. With meat, yeah, it's not really true. That's probably the old steak adage, you know what I mean, we just put it on both sides. But steak's totally different because it's not ground. Outside contaminants don't really have the ability to get within. It's the ground nature of ground beef, or if it is ground steak in that point, anything ground. And chicken for some reason because of salmonella. I don't know why that's such an organic problem within that, but it is. So you have to get it up to certain temperatures, which I think is like 165 degrees. Google that though, I don't really know.
Also, an indicator, if you cut into the middle of your chicken and it's noticeably pink, it probably has not been cooked long enough.
You want your juices clear. You don't want it to be pink.
And you don't really want to cut into it in the pan if you can help it because it does make it less moist, like the juices run out. But if you're super new and you're not sure about your meat thermometer or you're not sure when it's done, you can make a small incision to check, like, what does the middle look like. If it's pink, continue to cook it, you know, like, just be safe.
It is 165 degrees. That is the correct temperature.
Look at you.
I thought that's what it was, but I couldn't really remember. And you can get fancy thermometers that we can't afford that, like, you don't pierce. I don't like to pierce steaks. Chicken, it probably doesn't matter so much.
If you have a favorite meat thermometer, send it to us and we'll test it on the show. How's that?
Oh, I like that. I like that. I just tend to cook things a little bit longer, and then I kind of backtrack it from my own experience. I kind of guess, like, all right, if it says 6-7 minutes, maybe I'm going to do 7 to 8 minutes, a little bit lower than you normally would. And then when I eat it, I'm just going to know, did that work out for me? And I can usually tell, like, okay, this is maybe a little bit overcooked. Next time I'll do it on a lower heat, or I'll bring the time to a little bit lesser time.
And to Gerald's point, that's another note, like, get to know your appliances because when it says medium-high heat or high heat, that may not be true of your appliances. We typically keep ours at medium when it says medium-high and just do it about a minute longer, and that works out for us. Yep. So get to know your appliances and how they function with the ingredients and recipes.
And remember, because, you know, we live in a litigious era, they're going to edge their bets a little bit. They're going to tell you to do a little bit longer and tell you to do it a little bit hotter. So you just have to go off your own stuff, your own experience. I do want to say cheers to my partner, Kitty. She's awesome.
And tomorrow is our 3-year anniversary.
It is.
So
it is. Look at me acting like I didn't forget. Tomorrow? No. Let me Google some things now in order.
He didn't forget because he bought me these earrings today for our 3-year anniversary, which I love and are my new favorites. They're crescent moons. So, yeah, he did good.
Cheers. I love you.
I love you.
And that's the sappiness. We're sorry if you're single, because this is probably torturous. I don't have
We were
advice
single
for
once,
you.
too.
That's true. It wasn't completely awful. I bet it really sucks right now, though.
Yeah, we weren't quarantining while we were single, so...
You know what, though? I was a dork, and so it was like quarantining, except no one gave me a check or labeled it. They just gave me a D&D set and kind of didn't call me back. So, you know, hashtag phases. This is starting to smell good. She's right. Don't trust meat. When it smells good, it's not ready to eat. It's not.
Yeah, we've got another couple of minutes on that, and it smells like you could eat it now. Mm-hmm. There's definitely at least 2 minutes to go.
I'm going to get out a bowl that I'm going to use to smash the potatoes when they're ready. But I think, did you actually tell us what your favorite food was? You said it was Italian.
Yes, I was talking about, so the Italian tipsy where you brought your bowl up and they made the pesto sauce in front of you. Pesto is one of my favorite things on earth.
Pesto.
They made, it was just basil, olive oil, garlic, a little bit of tahini, and then there was Parmesan cheese. It was incredible, phenomenal, and it was one of my favorite dishes. And then they topped it off with some chopped garlic because I am a garlic freak. So that was my favorite meal. My favorite Italian meal, caveat, again.
I'm just kind of reading ahead so I know what happens. Looks like the carrots will go into the frying pan pretty closely after that chicken comes out. How much time do we have left on that chicken?
Chicken,
that's the potatoes.
That's the potatoes. Okay, so the chicken has about a minute left.
Oh no, chicken's up.
Chicken. Okay.
I knew. See, my spidey sense.
Now that was on for 6 minutes, so
my foodie sense.
check the chicken and make sure you feel like it's good to go. Do we want to leave that on for about another minute or so?
About 30 seconds. Split difference, just a little bit. But it is really close, and I can tell that the juices are clear.
So 30 seconds, I'm just going to use this timer that's already running and look at 30 seconds and we'll pull it at that point. And basically he's just getting the plates ready so that he can put the chicken on those. We kind of plate as we go also to minimize the use of dishes. So we'll go ahead and throw those on plates when they're ready.
Okay. Thanks, ready. I'm going to shoot about 30 seconds. Oh yeah, just to show you. Yummy. Yummy. Look at that.
Very delicious looking. Got some beautiful caramelization on there.
And there's nothing stopping you that if you cut into it and you don't like it or whatever, you can throw it back on there.
I think caramelization is wrong. I think that involves sugar. But there's some beautiful color on there.
And so with this, we'll now add the carrots, I believe.
Yes.
Is that correct? I'd like to double check.
Verify. Yes. Add the carrots.
Boom. Yummy. And a teaspoon, a little drizzle of olive oil.
Yes. If the pan is dry, some more olive oil, just a drizzle. And we're going to cook those stirring occasionally for 4 to 6 minutes.
Will you set a timer?
Yep.
That one's going for something else.
Still the potatoes.
We always know what to drizzle because they're the biggest fans of a drizzle of. A drizzle of. Just a drizzle. Just a drizzle. So anytime you're in doubt, just a drizzle. Does it say add a little salt and pepper or anything?
I was gonna tell him it doesn't because I don't like salt as much as he does, so I try to minimize it.
Electrolytes.
But actually it did.
Pepper.
And you had already done it, so that's cool.
Well, I did very little,
pepper.
but you do want pepper.
Yes.
Don't let your hate of salt make you hate pepper. That'll make no sense.
Yeah, pepper does not have adverse health effects the same way that overuse of salt does. So feel free to pile on the pepper.
Yummy, and pepper tastes good. Open the sinuses right up.
Do not ever sniff it because I did that once as a child and the consequences were heinous. I sneezed for 2 minutes straight. It was
why
horrible.
would you do that? Someone tricked you into that?
No.
That's sibling.
I
Hashtag
just wanted
siblings.
to see what it smelled like.
Hope you're quarantined with the ones you love and not the ones you're trapped with. Cheers.
Cheers.
If you have a spoon, it can be a shovel. Click the DIY video. No, there's no.
Wow.
No.
He actually really likes me and is happy being quarantined.
I did. I wasn't talking about us. I was talking about other people. I don't think you're catching the intonation.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There's a lot of subtleties to the complexity
Please don't give people
of my...
advice to dig graves with spoons.
Not graves.
Oh.
Tunnel out.
My bad. I totally misinterpreted that.
See where her head is. I'm just gonna put this over here.
Maybe remove all the sharp objects. Thank you.
Let's see though. So, what's the honey going to be used for?
It is going to go into that agrodolce sauce.
With the raisins?
Yeah,
is that
and
a
the
sauce
vinegar.
or does that get added to the peppers and carrots?
Let's see.
So we do those carrots, season with salt and pepper, cook stir occasionally, 4 to 6 minutes.
So we're going to cook it in there with...
Then add softened peppers, 3 to 4 minutes. Oh, then we'll add the honey and the vinegar and the raisins.
And the red pepper flakes. Which, we love crushed red pepper. It's always all the
We
red
did
pepper
not get
flakes.
no red pepper flakes. That's not something we have. We have some of our own. But
We actually didn't, but we do have a giant thing of them.
Yeah.
That is the potatoes.
Yummy.
So we're just going to strain strain those right quick. We have our Seared here. Hold it over the sink. Show the folks what you're doing there.
Turn off. Oh, you already did turn off the oven.
Yes.
Oh, that's a pro move right there.
It's another important point. Always make sure you turn things off as you go.
You want to smash potatoes or you want to do dishes?
I want to smash potatoes. Alright, so for the potatoes, sauce. Are we adding anything to this?
Usually, just read it. You almost always add salt and pepper. Sometimes milk and butter.
So this is to add 2 teaspoons of olive oil, and then we're gonna do that. I'm gonna add a little bit of olive oil. We don't really measure, and I try to go a little bit under. I'm gonna add a little bit, and smash those up. And then if they need more moisture, we also have milk in the refrigerator, which we like to add.
Yes.
Do we actually have a fork for these?
You're right here.
Thank you. Which we like to add to mashed potatoes and some other things. So, keep on going.
Ooh, these carrots are really sizzling. Watch your back, Kitty. I'm gonna give them a little sneak peek.
Okay.
A little sneak peek of them carrots. Good for your eyes. Good for the thighs.
AKA witch's fingers, if you have little ones.
The other thing too, they've made it to where I pretty much want fresh ingredients. They've made it where I pretty much really kind of crave that. If I go somewhere else, a lot of times I can tell if it's just not. I don't know. It's like I have a full tank, but I'm running on empty. Doesn't make any sense. Where when I eat like food that tends to have something, maybe it's not preservatives or something like that, I just seem like I have more energy. And I think that's a little bit more obvious the older you get, that the gas tank reflects the horsepower. When you're young, I think you just have a, revving 400 horsepower engine the whole time. You can eat donuts all day, it doesn't seem to matter.
For some.
Yeah.
Not all of us are like that, but
Once
apparently boys.
It wasn't until I hit
way.
40 that all of a sudden I was like, what? You know what I mean? To quote Sinbad, I'm using things I didn't even know existed before. I'm reaching for handrails, just trying to make it up the stairs.
Which is also part of kind of like why we started this journey, was to try to be just like a little bit healthier. We were eating out a lot, neither of us cooked. And at some point we realized that that was not going to be a super sustainable model for us to eat out all of the time and to be, remotely healthy. So that's another reason that we kind of decided we had to learn to cook. And this seemed to be a good way to do it.
Because even if those kind of farm-to-table restaurants, you might be able to hit one a day. You're not going to be able to hit it 3 times a day. Not have it dent your budget unless like you work there or something.
Which if you do, bravo, let us know and send us, coupons or
if
whatever.
you grew your own vegetables, of course, that would be awesome as well.
That would. We right now do not have the land to do that. That is a goal. When we get to that point, absolutely. But currently, that is not the situation. So.
And you're probably in a very similar situation. You know what I mean? Which is why we like this. You don't have to go to the farmer's market. You don't have to do anything, but you get the same level of quality. Oh, it's great. Look at that.
But if you can go to the farmer's market, do, because all those local artisans, we totally want to support them. And
oh, we do. But it's great that we can do so from a distance. I'm a big fan. Oh, these are amazing. Are these ready to plate up on the...
Yeah. I mean, those are good. As long as you like them.
Picture looks like at the top. Yep.
It's all just separate plating. So it's
like
a pile of carrot, pepper, agrodolce. It's a pile of mashed potatoes and then the chicken.
Oh, yummy. Yummy.
Sometimes things go on top of one another. Ooh.
That's true. Sometimes they have a little fancy way to plate it.
And that is the
so
timer.
Oh, you can add the peppers then.
Oh, all right. Here we go.
That's what that means. Peppers to the carrots.
Peppers going in. Hear that sizzle. Woo. Stir that around a little.
I will start this timer over here. That's set for
Probably need a little bit more. I was going to say a little bit more oil, but then upon looking at it, I'm not sure that's accurate.
Agrodolce. I'm going to do a little bit of the dishes. Kind of on there. Do you miss me?
I always miss you, baby.
I meant to our fans.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be in my trailer. Where my fans at? Where's craft services? Where's the damn stage? Oh, why are we in my house? Oh, that's right.
So we're going to cook this again for 3 to 4 minutes. That timer is going for about 3:30 right now. So even though it wasn't specifically set for this, I don't think. Or
no, it was. It was.
Oh, it was. So that's going to work out perfectly.
Yep, no, it was.
Sometimes David is just so ahead of the game.
Sometimes not. It's like fitty. That looks yummy. Let me see what's coming up next. Oh, did you catch me? Drinking out your drink?
Oh! He's so bad. It's okay, I love him. We really share everything. He knows it's fine.
So yeah, once that goes off, we'll add the honey and the vinegar and the red pepper flake. Then 30 seconds to a minute. Oh, we're getting close to eating. Yummy, yummy. I'm gonna put this guy up. That's my favorite part, y'all.
Right.
Other than me breaking stuff.
It's why we do what we do.
Yeah, because you gotta eat. Everybody at my table gets to eat. Nom nom. And this kind of lets us eat at a level that we weren't really accustomed to prior. I feel like we're fancy people when we sit down and eat one of these. It definitely makes us more cultured. I learned a lot.
And it just gives you a sense of accomplishment to like know that, you know, if you have to, you have some basic skills that you can call upon in order to feed yourself, feed your family, you know, and be competent at it. It's nice.
That's nice. I like to be competent.
It's nice. What are you eating? Oh.
Not your mashed potatoes.
Your old David is digging in there. I don't blame him.
And then that's gonna go on top. Is that the agrodolce sauce?
This is no. This is our goat cheese sauce. The agrodolce sauce is what the honey, red wine vinegar, and pepper flakes and all that are.
Oh, so that's gonna go in. The agrodolce sauce is gonna go in with the
Yep.
vegetables.
As soon as that timer
and that's
goes
gonna
off.
go on top. Okay, look at me figuring this out. Oh yeah.
This is gonna go on top of the chicken.
Yep. Ooh, I like things. I like
The
dippings.
agrodolce will be on the carrots and peppers.
I like dipping sauces.
Yes, I love sauces.
We can do another cheers. This is called the filling time cheers, where we just do it really slowly. No, let's not do that. That seems like that would piss me off. I'd be like watching a YouTube video. I'm like, how many ounces of mashed potatoes, you son of a bitch? Yeah, I shouldn't have done it. I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna be nice.
It's so nice.
Oh, yummy.
Also,
Yummy.
is it Italian culture or Irish culture that you can't set down your drink without cheersing?
I always get it mixed up, and I've heard people argue both sides of this. For me personally, what I do, I believe it's bad luck if your drink touches the table before, or no, I'm sorry, messing up. If you cheers, like cheers to long life. I was always taught that it's bad luck if it touches the table without you taking the drink. That if for some reason, if you didn't have it go straight to, you were neglecting the thing, like it wasn't fulfilling the pact or whatever. But I've had people swear to the exact opposite. And I've Googled it, and both seem to be on there. So I don't know. I guess it just comes down to...
Pick sides and tell us below why you're right.
It looks like we're low on battery. Hopefully the battery lasts
Fingers
for
crossed.
this. Fingers crossed. If it doesn't, trust me, it's delicious. How much time do we have? Oh, 3 seconds. Good. So let's add the raisins and the honey.
Yes.
Here's the honey, Tizzy.
Okay.
It's going to go in for a minute.
I think it's the honey, the vinegar, and the raisins.
Here's the honey. Start kneading that in.
Good.
I'm just going to add the raisins. Yummy. Right over here. Set this up for it to be washed. Here's the vinegar. Do we add all of it?
Yes, all of the vinegar.
Got that little bit of splatter. You can hand that to me whenever you're ready.
There you go.
Boom, toss that. And then red pepper flakes. Where do we have those? Oh, right here.
Right there, over
Red
with our...
pepper flakes.
We use these all the time, ingredients.
Yeah, we love them.
All right,
We love them. We love
wow,
them.
that was a lot of red pepper flakes,
I
babe.
said even a little bit of that. Listen to that. Means our peppers are about done.
Woo.
Or agrodolce, as they say in fancy people speak.
Yeah, things are looking good. I think we're good. I'm going to take those off the heat, turn off my burner, because again, turn off as you go.
That's right. I'll divvy these out if you want to get that delicious goat cheese ready.
Absolutely. So this is our goat cheese sauce that we made earlier. This is going to go over the chicken.
And it looks delicious.
I'm super excited about all of this. And according to the nutrition information that came with the meal, this meal only has 560 calories. So, like,
It's pretty awesome.
super awesome, yeah.
Yummy. It's all you. I'm going to clean up a little bit.
Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and bring these plates over, actually. You can kind of see what I'm doing here. It's delicious. And if you really want to be like kind of foodie, snobby about it, you can like wipe the plates if they get a little bit on them like that. Just so that it looks a little
Or you can hide it with gravy.
neater.
That's going to be on our useful tools for gravy.
Yeah, it's useful gravy tools, always good to have.
Or
Always good to have.
gravy.
So we're going to take our goat cheese sauce here. I'm just kind of spoon that over the chicken. Like, again, people, I am obsessed with cream sauces. Anything in a cream sauce is, like, I love. So Gerald David is usually very sweet and lets me have a disproportionate amount of the sauce. And even though I am trying to track my calories and, you know, watch my weight, I still will do a little bit extra sauce because I just love it and it makes my life feel happy. So those are our dishes.
Ooh, is it getting close? Let me wipe this off a little. Keeping it clean.
Oh my god, that goat cheese sauce is heavenly.
A good habit to have during the corona, keeping us corona proof. And make sure you're really clean, using like a bleach solution. Nothing does it like Lysol or bleach. When in doubt, bleach it. Unless it's you, then don't. Don't bleach it. I don't care what you heard. Don't
Girls,
bleach
that
yourself.
goes for your hair too. Like,
Yeah.
seriously, watch that.
When you're young, it's fine. When you're 40, depends if you're. I've seen some people their hair can handle it. Most people their hair cannot. Most people know crying it. We all know that Southern blonde. Ooh, that looks good.
All right, and because we cleaned as we went, we are done with dishes.
We
and
are. All I need is one fork.
ready to eat.
Yummy. Look at this.
Mm-hmm.
So what is this called again?
This is called, I'm sorry, I think it's seared chicken, but I want to make
I
sure
think
I
it
get
is.
this right.
Seared kitchen. You're smart.
Seared kitchen.
Boy, I
so
said something like maybe seared
is
kitchen.
seared
I don't know. This is the seared chicken.
Seared chicken and goat sauce with mashed potatoes and carrot pepper agrodolce.
Look at me hold it up to the camera all fancy. Dinner time.
Bon appetit.
We love you guys. Subscribe, like, hit the buttons. If you don't like us, don't tell nobody.
Yeah, thanks.